Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Heather Frierson, and I'm your host of the Business Spotlight podcast. And today I have Lian Amber, CEO and Managing Partner of BASSBOSS. And today we're really going to be talking all about her journey to managing and being CEO, and really just share her challenges, best practices, and just share a sneak peek of what it's like to work at a business and large company like BaseBoss. So, if this is your first time to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss a notification every time a new show drops, just like this one. Well, with that said, Leanne, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much. It's thrilling to be here. This is actually my first podcast interview, so I hope to
Oh,
do a great job. I'll try
well,
to be as forthcoming as possible.
I think you will. And I was about to say, I feel like you probably are natural on the mic. I mean, I noticed in your bio, you are a singer too. Bass Boss is a music company, if you will, that I'll let you get into. So I'm shocked that this is your first podcast. Maybe it's the first of many.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just set the stage for everybody and just share a little bit of background about you and who you are and Bass Boss.
Absolutely. So I have been working with our designer, David Lee, who designs the Base Boss line for about 15 years. I met him here in Austin, Texas at a gig and basically said, wow, these are really incredible subwoofers. So, being a musician and a producer myself, I really love intense sound. I really love great sound, and I'm really an audiophile. And I was really impressed with what he was doing. I also noticed that he wasn't much of a business person. Of course, he's a genius engineer and designer, and those are oftentimes, that's really what they focus on. So, because I had a background in running a record company before, I decided to come on and help him with this project. Now, 15 years later, we're still doing it, still growing, going worldwide. We are a purveyor of professional loudspeakers for events, venues, mobile DJs, gyms, bars, all kinds of places that really like intense sound, high quality sound. And we try to make our products as simple as possible so they're really accessible to a lot of different people. So that's in a nutshell what we do.
Well, when you said record producer, of course, my radar went up because that sounds so cool and so fun. So you've obviously been in the music industry for a long time. Give us a glimpse, a little bit of that, about what that looked like.
Well, it's interesting. I came up as a musician. My mom is a jazz singer and a master vocal coach. And so I just grew up around music, and I kind of went back and forth between being or trying to be a professional musician. It's always a challenge. I did a lot of
Mhm.
school in music and I really enjoyed it. Then I ran my ex-husband, actually, his record company for about 10 years. And that was a lot of fun. We traveled the world,
Oh,
made a lot of music, made a lot of records, and had a really
nice.
good time. And then when I transitioned out of that, I was just looking for something else to do that was related. And
Hmm.
also, I'm highly entrepreneurial. I don't love working for other people. As a sort of opinionated woman, sometimes the corporate world is not been all that kind to
Hmm.
me. So I was looking for another entrepreneurial venture, and I just thought, these speakers are incredible, and I think I can do something with this. Of course, if I knew then what I know now about this industry, um, I don't know that I would take it on again. It's a very difficult industry, very brand driven, very expensive, capital intensive.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
it's been a bit of a slog, but basically the products were so phenomenal that I said, let's do it. And here we are.
Can you? I love that story and just how when I hear that a lot, and that's why I pause a little bit, how you start out one thing, but you really grow into that passion and that purpose, if you will, of this is how I'm bent. And then you find a new lane. And I think that's so cool how life journeys that way. But you've had some challenges, it sounds like, of course, as we all do. This is not, it sounds like you help manage, but it's not your brand. And to build it in a way, there are some challenges there. Can you walk us through that? Because that's for 10 years, you've obviously built it into what it is today. Um, what were some of those challenges that you overcame?
Oh wow, where do you start? So I would say that I actually, I am a majority partner, and do own
Mhm.
the brand along with David. We're the
Okay,
owners,
awesome.
and in fact, when we started David's business, I started working with him with an existing business, and we were called Base Max. And as the first thing I tried to do was get a trademark because, of course, that's what good CEOs
Yeah.
do. Unfortunately, there was already a max base. So one of the first
Mm.
things that happened to me as CEO was I got a cease and desist that we couldn't use our name anymore.
Mm.
So my mom ended up coming up with the name Base Boss. So props to mom. And we've been Base Boss ever since. So we're coming up on 15 years
Mhm.
as that. So basically, what are the challenges? Well, where do I start? Essentially, I've been thinking a lot recently about mentoring in the future, all the things not to do, all the things that I
Mhm.
did that you shouldn't do. I would say
Mhm.
one of my biggest challenges, honestly, was hiring. It's very difficult when you don't have a lot of resources, you don't have a lot of money to hire really great people. A lot of times people are interested, but maybe you just feel that they're more expensive than you can afford, or maybe you kind of have a little bit of, I don't know, imposter syndrome, like somebody's
Mm.
really corporate and they're going to come in and you're a small business and your systems maybe aren't what you'd like them to be. So I look back and I really realize that there are a fair amount of times when I really didn't take enough time to hire people. And I
Mm.
was occasionally, had opportunities with people that were interested, but maybe I felt they were just a little bit beyond where we were. And instead of saying, come on, let's do it, I passed on those people. So I do feel that
Mm.
for someone at the beginning of their career, the beginning of their business, entrepreneurial, it's really, really important. I mean, it's make it or break it. It's like people that you get married
Mm.
to. I mean, it really is. It's that deep. We have a lot of people that have worked here now for many years, 6, 7, 8 years. And those are the people that you want, the people who really want to be a part of what you're
Yeah.
doing. It's your passion, and it's not easy to find people who it's their passion too. But when you
Mhm.
do, it's just, I mean, I hate to use the term force multiplier, but it really makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. I like the analogy of marriage because they're really carrying your baby, I like to say a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
many team members do you have now?
We have 9 people on our team, and they're scattered all over the United States and also a few
Mm.
people overseas. Team
Oh,
member in
wow.
India, team member in the Philippines. Yeah, actually, we've been very successful hiring people through hiring platforms that have access to team members all over the world. It's a great way
Mm.
for a small business to grow because you can afford people that are really very helpful and not as expensive, and you don't have the
Yeah.
overhead. And if it doesn't work out, you're able to transition much more
Mhm.
easily because it's just a contract and it has a little bit,
Yeah.
less impact on them and on you. So we use a platform called Upwork.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
also Fiverr, but I haven't used that. And I've worked with some amazing people there from all over the world. So highly
Yeah.
recommend that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There's so much access that we have access to. It's incredible. Do you have both contract and people that work with you and David
Yep,
too? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, so
Yeah.
everybody that's in the United States is just a regular, full-time employee. And then the people that work overseas, we hire through Upwork, and they also work full-time, but
Mhm.
they're managed through there. So,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
gets rid of some of the HR, dealing with HR in other countries is very difficult. There are some platforms to do that, but I've tried it. I don't really recommend it. I really
Mm.
recommend the platforms that
Yeah.
handle all the payments, and there aren't any taxes or liabilities, any health insurance, etc.
Yeah. I think that's such an interesting conversation. But before I even get into that, I want to ask a fun question. And that's, okay, you're obviously into subwoofers and music. You're in the Austin area. So for anyone in the Austin area listening to this podcast or watching right now, where might we hear your subwoofers in the area?
Absolutely. So we make both subwoofers and what we call tops.
Uh-huh.
Those are essentially the mid-high cabinets. There's a great dance club downtown called Kingdom. There's
Okay.
also a wonderful place called Empire Control Room and Garage that's been around forever.
Mm.
I'm trying to think because we have so many places, but over the years, what happens is there's a big transition. Clubs
Yeah.
become another name, and the gear goes to another place. Actually, that's a kind of interesting business story.
Hmm.
Is when I first started working with my business partner, he did a lot of installations, and he
Mm,
basically sold his product to different customers in town, and then actually did with a team member or team members the physical installation. Well,
mm,
after a few years of doing that, we were quite successful at it, but I also realized that having a brilliant loudspeaker designer and engineer
mm,
with a screwdriver in his hand putting up speakers made absolutely no sense. So we made a somewhat painful pivot out of doing installations and just being a manufacturer. That
mm,
was really a good thing to do, but because of that, we're not as involved in the installation business here in
hmm.
Austin. We are back in Austin after a couple of years away. We moved to LA for a couple of years, and
Oh,
then
wow.
COVID hit. Wasn't the greatest
Mm.
place to be. And of course,
No.
the LA area is insanely expensive, and we missed our Austin home. So we're back here
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kingdom,
King. Yeah. Well, I
a lot
love,
of fun.
I probably need to go. I don't know. I don't know what Kingdom is. But
It's an
I,
EDM club. Yeah, if you like it really intense, then that's for you.
that's where it is. Yeah. Well, you said something interesting that I think is really good to kind of dive into, where you really made the decision for David not to be in installation and pivot the company. And there was obviously a push and pull, but as a CEO, this was some decisions that you had to make. Um, how did it affect the business after you pulled that and really made sure that everybody was running in their lane and not adding anything like holding a screwdriver?
It was awful. It was really painful. It took a long time or a couple of years to really get back to the revenue that we were making.
Hmm.
And we had to just essentially educate people that we didn't do that anymore. It was very painful. But what I did is I really identified a new customer base. We attacked a part of the market that really wasn't being well served, and that's the mobile DJ market. So we make
Oh.
high performance, high quality products that are really analogous to anything that you could hear on the Taylor Swift tour, et cetera. I mean, I don't say that hyperbolically. I say that from a lot of external sources of people agreeing
Yeah.
with me. But we've simplified the products extremely. So they're basically
Uh-huh.
just power and signal. You don't need to be a technical person at all to use them. So in this market of mobile DJ, there were a bunch of guys, and they're basically all guys, that they wanted better products, but all they had access to was mass market. And
Mm,
so the really great products weren't accessible to them. They were also too expensive for them, and they were only sold through dealers. And those dealers weren't
mm,
interested in doing small purveyors of, what we call single shingle, one man operations. So
mm-hmm.
we started building products for this customer. And we were told, oh, nobody's going to buy, a price point of that. You're four times as expensive as the competitors. It's
Mm.
never going to happen. Well, they were totally wrong. There was definitely a demand in the market. And as soon as we started going to trade shows that were specific to our market,
Mm.
um, knocking some stuff out of the ceiling, knocking some sconces off the wall, generally causing a little bit of mayhem and being a little bit destructive. I
Yeah.
mean, within reason, we
Right.
always put it back, but really showing people what we could do, it was on. I
Mm.
mean, from then on, we were just a little bit legendary because people would talk to one another. We were the people who would go and do crazy things at trade shows.
Mm.
It's just the two of us, really, with all
So
the
fun.
team. I mean, so if we want to get nutty, we can. We don't have to worry about, the corporate environment, et cetera.
Mm.
So we just like to show people, hey, this is what you can do with these products. And our customers tend to
Hmm.
be early adopters. They're literally disruptors.
Yeah.
And they're very proud of themselves when they knock things out of the ceiling. They
Yeah.
send one another videos of like, look what I did, man. So yeah, we really started to double down on that. And then we started to come back and address the venue market again,
Hmm.
gyms and places where they need loud, clear, powerful music. So that
Hmm.
pivot really did work, but it took a couple years, and they were not
Hmm.
easy years. It's
Yeah.
always hard. And actually, right now, I'm looking at another pivot. I see a big change coming in the job market, or it's not even coming, it's
Hmm.
already here.
Mm.
And I think we're going to see a huge transition, economically and
Hmm.
professionally for many people. I feel like there are going to be a lot of guys, and again, our customers are almost exclusively men, who are looking for the next stage of their life.
Hmm.
They maybe have lost their job through AI, or maybe just through, different socio-political changes that we're going through. And they want to do something they're passionate about. They want to
Hmm.
invest in something that they really believe in. So I believe there's going to be a lot of people that can actually start doing. I have a mosquito running in front of
Oh,
me, if you can believe it, um, that are really looking for something that they can get involved with, that will be their next gig,
yeah.
basically their next thing. And so we're looking to transition into offering not only the loudspeaker systems, but also some lasers and lighting and
Oh,
just the best of
nice.
the best of kind of the cool stuff that allows you to go out and do great, basically create great experiences. So this is a big pivot that I'm just
Yeah,
conceptualizing right now, and I'm
that's
really
amazing.
excited about. Yeah, I'm really excited.
So you're thinking, so for one, if I'm just understanding correctly, Base Boss is not, or you're expanding into laser and lighting so you can kind of do more event type of stuff for the venues beyond sound. And then really looking at the job market that people are looking for maybe to be a part of that lighting and technical piece of it, or they might, you know, be the one who goes into the venues representing Base Boss, correct?
Potentially. And actually, I'm really thinking of the guy who he maybe has, lost his job or relocated potentially back
Mm-hmm.
to where he's from. And he's interested in the industry and he's maybe a DJ. I can't believe I have a mosquito on me. Um, he's maybe a DJ or just interested in dance music
Mm-hmm.
culture in some way, some type of genre. And he is interested in starting to create experiences in his local area. So he needs not
Yeah.
only sound, he needs lighting and lasers
Yeah. All the
and just
things.
all the things, all the things.
Yeah.
So
Are we
in the past,
strategizing right now?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So in the past, we've been a loudspeaker company, and that's our expertise. But we have access to people who know how to do incredible things that are ancillary to what we do, but really crucial for these events. So yeah, so lasers, lighting, what they call deco, which is kind of what you put around your DJ booth, and even we're looking at potentially generators and distros and
Mm-hmm.
just anything that you would need, so you can really go out and
Yeah.
just order it from us. Everything shows up. You can set it up, throw a fantastic party that night,
That's
and
amazing.
just, bring people together. I'm really a mission driven person. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sometimes to the detriment of the company. I'm not really profit driven. It's just not what inspires me. I really love bringing people together. I really do believe that better sound, great sound, can improve people's lives. I know that sounds a little hyperbolic, but when you go to a wedding or an event or in quinceañera or anything where just music is a big part of it, when it elevates the experience, I mean, great
Mm-hmm.
grandma's out there on the floor and dancing, or you just went and met your future partner at an incredible
Yeah.
gig where you were just blown away. And the power of music, the emotionality, which is not a word, of music, the physicality of music,
Mm-hmm.
that's something we all connect with. And I feel like, especially not to be cliche, but in these extremely polarized times, I feel
Yeah.
like this is one of those things that will bring us back together. And we need that. And we need to stop staring at our screens and start kind
Mm-hmm.
of staring at one another again.
Yeah, it's so true. I love your passion for it. I think it's so important no matter what we do that you're so passionate. Like you said, you're mission driven, not profit, but you're obviously making a profit too, or you wouldn't be here 10 years later. So
Yeah.
I love
15,
also,
actually.
oh, 15 years. Yep.
Yep.
And I think it's important the way you talk that, you have to pivot with the times. So as you're pivoting into this new season and adding a new strategy, if you will, what are some of the challenges you foresee and how are you going to get around those?
It's interesting. The good thing is we have partners, existing partners that we've known for many years that we are collaborating with, where their
Mm-hmm.
expertise,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to develop a whole new set of expertise. Our depth of knowledge
Mm.
of loudspeakers, David Lee has done nothing else since he was a teenager. He is an expert's expert.
Yeah.
So I know, hey, we got this on the technology, but I want to work with the people who are going to help us curate the best of the best. Doesn't need to be a
Yeah.
ton of products. They're going to be good value, good quality, well supported, And by collaborating with people, it doesn't mean I hate manufacturing. As you can imagine, manufacturing is just, it's really a challenge. I should have
Mm.
gone into SaaS, something where I could just push out an update, then everybody's good. But so my goal is to work with people who have already really developed that expertise, and I can just use our position, our reputation, and our
hmm
platform to bring it to people who are really looking for that kind of advice.
Yeah. Yeah. When you think about the past 15 years and maybe predict 3 or 4, maybe 5 years down the road, where do you see Base Boss in the future?
Well, we're currently expanding all over the world. So we're available here in the United States through all the biggest dealers, Guitar Center, Sweetwater,
Oh,
B&H, and on and on. But now we're expanding into Mexico, Canada, India, the EU, Africa, Indonesia, China. I'm like mentally going through the globe. I hope I didn't miss anywhere. I think I said India. So all of these places we're really excited about. We've got a lot of people all over the world that are interested in
hmm
us. We had to make some changes to our product line so that we were accessible from a power point of view. We didn't have
mm
auto switching 110-volt and 220-volt products. Now we do. And so we're just aggressively
mm
expanding all over the world. I really want to bring our ethos and our mission to everybody anywhere.
hmm
And that's what we're working on right now.
It's
So I
amazing.
see us world domination, basically, or
I
world,
love it.
whatever the opposite of domination, not the opposite, but the positive spin of
Yeah.
domination.
Yeah. I love that so much. What does it mean to you personally when you see not only the growth, but the growth that you just talked about in the future? What does that do for you on a personal level?
Well, like many CEOs, work-life balance is not always a
hmm
strong point of mine. This has definitely been something where I've had to look at it recently and just realize that I've gotten a little bit isolated, and my work has
hmm
become, so all-consuming that I've stopped balancing and making sure I get out and have some
hmm
fun, etc. For me, fun is travel. I love to travel. And what I love about these new expansions is I get to travel and I
That's
get to
awesome.
go. Yeah, it's really exciting. So I get to go all over the world, bringing the products, meeting people who are passionate
Mm,
about the same things that I am. Lots of good vibes, lots of good songs, lots of good hangs. So I'm really
yeah.
excited about, yeah, essentially getting to all these places that I haven't seen. I've actually been to, I think, 53 or 54 countries,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that's not enough. So I'm hoping to get some more. Yeah.
Well,
Um,
no matter what, I feel like you have one of the most fun jobs that you meet probably the most interesting people. Yeah. How do
yeah.
you, before we get into some rapid fire, I really just want to kind of circle back. We were talking about team earlier, and you seem to have created an environment that's mission driven. You spoke about that earlier. You are really intent on having team members here and contract and traveling. How do you build in the culture that you want to create for Base Bass with a team that's so global?
That's actually a really good question. And it can be hard with work from home. Um, it's hard to really stay connected. And
hmm
of course, you don't want to have meeting creep, but communication can be an issue too, because a lot of times
hmm
issues and problems arise just from assumptions, etc. We
hmm
do a lot of meetings. We talk a lot. We are all really excited. We've all stood in front of our products and we know how much they move people. And we've also talked with
Probably
all the people that
literally.
we've literally, yes. And we've talked with all the people that we've made happy. And their joy is what really keeps us going.
Mm,
So everybody that has been successful here is just super committed to what we do,
yeah.
and they get that positive feedback all the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like really it's partially me, but it's actually just the positive feedback from the
Mm,
market and from the customer that I think really inspires all of the team members.
yeah.
Everybody just loves what we do, and it is fun. I mean, it's fun because the like a lot of the content that we'll create is user generated content, and so we're getting these
Yeah.
great videos from people where, again, they're at weddings, they're at parties, they're just people having fun,
Yeah.
and so it's really gratifying to see all those people having fun and think, hey, I had just at least a little bit to do
Yeah.
with that. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I often find that no matter how large or small the company is, CEO can be a somewhat lonely position, just like a visionary. How do you get your support, or where do you look to get wisdom and guidance and support?
That is a very good question again. Not necessarily a strong point of mine. We did actually bring on a board
Oh,
last
okay, yeah.
year, and that's been very helpful. The advisory board has been great. They've all been very generous with their time and expertise. They're all people that are from a variety parts of different industries and different depths of knowledge. That is very helpful. I meditate and I do feel that sometimes going
Yeah.
within, I realize that occasionally I look to consultants or other people that I
Hmm.
brought in to help me. And sometimes at the end of those experiences, I realized I could have done that myself and possibly
Mm.
better, but I didn't trust my own abilities. And so sometimes I find that
Yeah.
actually my best counsel is myself. But I was
Hmm.
just recently was saying to the team, I want everybody's input. I want everybody to tell me,
Yeah.
hey, that's a stupid idea. Why are you going to do that? I really want everyone in the organization to feel like there's total freedom to really be honest.
Yeah.
There's always people on your team that are going to be really straightforward no matter what. And sometimes that's challenging.
Yeah.
And then there's other people who are going to kind of just keep their counsel to themselves. And I think it's really important to encourage your
Yeah.
team and to keep asking, do you think this is the right way to go? What are some of the pitfalls
Mm.
that you see? Is there anything? Because I'm an enthusiast, I'm a passionate person, I'm the positive, glass half full type of
Hmm.
guy, type of gal. So, what do you see ahead that might be a challenge?
Yeah.
Because that's not where I'm naturally going to go. And so I think it's really important to allow
Hmm.
people to bring up, their fears, their concerns, and really dive in. Too often,
Yeah.
I think I forged ahead because I was like, this is going to be great. And then, I didn't do sometimes enough diligence to really
Hmm.
say, okay, I'm going to do this or we're going to do this. But what are the things that we need to look out for? How
Yeah.
can we head those off at the pass? So it is important to have people
Yeah.
that just tell you what they really think.
It's good. It's so true. We all need those people around us for sure.
Mhm.
Well, before we get into some fun rapid fire questions, is there anything that you would like our audience to know about Base Bass that we didn't cover today?
Base boss.
Base
Only
Boss. What
the
do I
name.
keep saying? Do I keep saying
It's
something
okay.
different? What do I say?
You said
Boss
base
Base?
bass. Oh, no, a lot of people say that. So a lot of people call us up and they're like, they think it's bass boss. And actually that's for fishing, and there is, I
Right,
believe, a
right.
bass boss. But yeah, so we're base boss. I think what to
Hopefully
know
I said
about
Base
us,
Boss on the introduction, right?
I think you did.
Okay,
Um,
good.
but what I'd like people to know is that, our real ethos is that of one of support and
Mm,
education. Our industry can be, how to say it diplomatically, a little bit judgmental. A lot of
mm,
times, if you don't know that much about loudspeakers or audio production, and you go onto a forum, say on Facebook or Reddit, and you ask what is an innocent and novice question, there's a lot of negativity.
mm,
And I really have seen that myself. I've seen our brand trashed, and it's always personally quite
mm,
painful. And I realized that it can be very off putting to a lot of people that they want to explore their passion. They want to start throwing parties.
mm,
They want to be a producer. They want to be a producer of events. They want to be a mobile DJ. And when they ask questions, they really get shot down. So they don't feel like there's a safe place to
mm,
go. One of the pivots that I want to do, we already have a ton of information on our site, on our help desk, but I really want to continue the education. We also have a great YouTube channel with David Lee,
mm,
who's incredibly knowledgeable about all things technology, et cetera. But we want to continue to expand our education. So we create a safe space where people can come in. They don't need to know anything. You just have to plug it in and
mm.
get to playing.
Yeah,
So I like to say when I go to work, I go to play. And I hope to bring that ethos to many more people over the
yeah,
next few years and decades, because I think that as these shifts happen, there's going to be more and more opportunities for us to go out and
yeah,
party together because, things are changing. We know that.
yeah, yeah. But I love how you say I want people to go out and party together.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's
That's
important.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm coming away with. Just have fun and enjoy life. And you're
exactly.
providing really the products and the opportunity for people to connect that way.
Exactly. That's all it's all about.
Yeah, I
So,
love that. Or are you ready to have some fun and get some rapid fire questions out?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
All right, let's go. Well, the first question is, what do you think is the key to success for you?
Keep showing up.
Keep showing up. Yeah.
I mean, you really just it's a slog, it takes a
Mm,
long, long time. Unless you just happen to hit it and get lucky, which some people do, but most people don't. There's really a lot of grit, a lot of resilience,
yeah.
and a lot of faith in where you're going, faith that what you're doing is meaningful and that you're
Yeah.
helping people with whatever you're doing. And I really do think that if you don't have that, there's no way to get through the hard times. You
Mm,
just have
mm,
to really believe in the end goal. And my end goal is when people say, "Oh my God, I can't believe this up with her." That keeps me going every day. So yeah, keep
yeah,
on showing up.
it's good. What would be your one piece of advice for other business owners?
Really hire slowly.
Mm,
Hire
mm,
slowly. And as they say, fire quickly. I hate to put that in because it's kind of negative, but yeah, hire slowly. Interestingly enough, key team members that we have now came to us through their own passion. Then another key team member I actually met on Craigslist
oh,
when I
wow.
was looking for someone to help us with some promotion. And so you can meet people through some very,
Yeah,
what seemingly sort of random places. But
good.
I do feel like key team members are the best things that I've ever done as far
Mm,
as hiring the right people and giving them the freedom and the opportunity to really have autonomy. And then some of the worst things I've ever done for the business were hire people that weren't really
mm,
aligned with our end goals. And
yeah,
you learn the hard way.
that's right. It's true. All right, book or podcast. What are you reading or listening to right now?
Okay, well, book is Mo Gadot, Scary Smart. He is a visionary, and it's all about AI. If you are wondering about AI, I think this is an incredible introduction. There's also a
Hmm.
great or two books by Will Storr, The Status Game and The Science of Storytelling. Those are both
Mm,
phenomenal, phenomenal things. I listen to a lot of like science. So Michael Levin from Tufts University, he's a
hmm.
biologist that is really changing the face of science and biology. Yosha Bach, who is an AI researcher and kind of the most deep guy you'll ever listen to. As I said, Mo Gadot is great. If you just want to listen to some podcasts with him, he's a wonderful speaker and just so insightful. Yeah, I think that's probably enough for now.
That's awesome. I love your variety. So good. All right, this is a fun one. If you had a little bit of magic dust and could sprinkle it anywhere in your business, where would you sprinkle it?
The bank account. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I would
I hear
sprinkle
that
that right
often.
into
Yeah.
it. Yes, yeah. We've done amazing things being completely self-funded. We've
Mm,
really come so far, and ultimately, there are so many things that we could do if we had the resources to do it. We're actually in a funding round right now.
mm,
Eventually, potentially, will be acquired. We'll see. But at this point, there's just so many ideas that I have, and so many ideas that David has, our designer, that it just takes longer. We get there, we just get there slower.
yeah.
And so I would really like to, just like all business owners, be able to leverage some scale and some
Hmm.
external expertise by being able to hire a really people better than me at the things that I do well, but
Yeah.
other people I think can do better. So
Yeah.
that's what
It's
I would do.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, before we get to the final question of the day, share with everyone how they can connect with you, hire you, buy some product, all the things.
Absolutely. So I'm a little busy, so I'm not really on the hiring market at the moment, but we're at baseboss.com
Hmm.
and we're on Instagram at basebossbase, Facebook at basebossbase. I'm on LinkedIn at Lian Amber, and my name will be obviously spelled correctly in
Yeah.
the
Yep.
notes. And that's about it. If you want to give us a shout, we're at 855-822-7770. And we've got a team that's ready to talk if anybody's interested in loudspeakers.
Awesome. Well, I love this show and your story so much. I wanted to hear so
Yeah.
much more about music. I love what you're doing and bringing people to come together, like you said. So before we say goodbye to our audience, can you just share with us what's inspiring you today?
Absolutely. Well, the pivot is inspiring.
Mm,
I'm really excited to have a new idea. I'm really excited to to have a new vision, and been,
Mm,
it's great to do what you're doing, but sometimes you realize, hey, I've got more to bring to the world. I could leverage
mm,
what we're doing already and make it more impactful for more
yeah.
people and really bring more goodness into the world. So I'm excited to have a new idea and to bring that into fruition. We're working with some new partners, on it, and they're great. And I just got an
Yeah.
incredible business plan this morning, from 2 days ago, and I was so inspired. And I'm excited to work with new creative people, and we're doing
Yeah.
fun stuff. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That
And I
is
guess my
exciting.
last thing is I want to do this because I can.
Ah!
Ah.
Oh my gosh, how did you do that? That's so cool.
Oh, it's a Mac thing. If you have a Mac, you can
Yeah.
actually do it. So it's in the
Oh,
reactions. I highly recommend it.
I mean, my reactions must not be on.
Yeah. It
I'll
is
have to
something
fix
that
that.
everybody can turn on. It
Yeah.
is super
All right.
fun.
I'm
Then
gonna
you
have
can
to
do
do
the little
that.
heart. Yep. That's always so good.
Oh,
Yep.
no, my reactions are not on. So I'll have to go fix that for sure.
Well, that's my inspiring things for the day. Everybody turn on their reactions.
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it. I love
All
that. Well,
right.
this was such a fun conversation, Leanne. I
Thanks for
loved
having
meeting you
me.
and hearing your story. I
Appreciate
think
it.
it's great. And I love just hearing stories from local people that are doing big things globally. So I
Yeah.
just want to encourage everyone that's watching or listening to the show to save this show and go back and listen to Leanne's story because she really did have some good points about how to pivot well and how to bring teams together globally. So also don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't, I'm going to try that again. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss a notification every time a new show drops, just like this one. And thanks
Like,
everyone for joining us together. But for sure, Leanne, it was such a pleasure to hear your
likewise.
story
Thanks for
and all
having
about
me.
Base Boss.
I appreciate it.
Well, until next time, we'll see you. Bye bye.